Hello there everyone, your fluffy armchair Admiral is back with some more hot ship action in another episode of Lots of Guns series about Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. Before we begin today's episode, however, I'd like to remind you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done that already and use that bell to make sure you won't miss out on any content from me. So, welcome in today's episode. I will be going through some Academy mission and we are going to play the newest Alpha 7 patch. So the patch has introduced some changes, mostly to some missions to make them a little bit more accessible, a little bit more easy to go through. Is that the case for all of the missions? Well, technically yes. All of the missions are beatable. That's confirmed many times. There are some players that have beaten some of the missions that I haven't. It's really hard to track right now which missions I already did and which I haven't, because some new missions appeared in last 2 or 3 patches, and in the meantime I upgraded my rig, so pretty much all my mission progress got reset. So there are some missions that I've been attempting in the recent times, and those are Battle of Destroyers and Meet the US Battleship, where you have to build 1 or 2 super battleships and face against a fleet of Japanese modernized battleships with quite heavy destroyer escort. And the win conditions for that mission is to sink 70% of battleships, which in fact means that you need to sink 3 out of 4 battleships anyway. So basically it's not that easy to do, mostly because you don't really have that much of an advantage. Those battleships that you will be facing against have pretty much very similar technology to yours. They might have some drawbacks here and there, but in general the mission enforces you to perform long-range engagements where your guns are not really that effective, and you are facing against time limit, which is quite heavy. It's nearly 6 hours, so that makes this mission even harder. Throughout the mission you will sustain some damage. Surprisingly, those modernized battleships seems to have quite good accuracy, so that's another problem. When you eventually try to beat them, they fight back and they tend to deal awful lot of damage, while one-on-one your battleship usually can win with ease with enemy battleships. You have to beat 3 of them, and at some point a 4th one appears, and the 4th one is pretty much at your technology level. Not to mention that those 8 destroyers that are present on the battlefield have really nasty and heavy torpedo loads, so eventually if you get too close to those battleships to introduce some better range and highlight those differences and advantages you have, those destroyers will eventually completely wreck you. There's pretty much no chance for you to effectively avoid those, and any damage that you will sustain throughout the battle will play heavy role in that, mostly because, well, those torpedoes have really long range. We are talking about distances between 10 and I think 16 kilometers, so that's quite significant distance, and yes, they are very, very accurate. I can confirm that. Right, anyway, so the mission from the first glance looks not so well balanced. It is still beatable, but it requires a lot of patience. Anyway, let's dig into the game. Let's have a look what I came up with. We will modify my builds slightly, and we will try to highlight some nice moments of this battle. I will probably be playing at using time compression, so this will make my decisions faster. This will eventually lead to some mistakes on my side. It will be much harder for me to keep the battle distance. Anyway, we will use boost technology. With 200 million funds, we should be able to build something. And in fact, I've already pre-built my battleship. So let's have a look at this bad boy. Obviously, loaded designs have now that fancy issue where you have to replace all the guns. Because why not? Wasting your time is the game's best way to deal with you. Anyway, let me just replace all those guns, because the game doesn't seem to be willing to reload them properly. Okay, that's one side done. Let's do another. Okay, that's done. And when it comes to main armament, I was planning to replace it anyway, so let's just do it. So initially I had 18-inch guns here, and while they are pretty good, I would like to change them to 17s. Why is that? Well, they are a little bit more accurate. While their penetration is smaller, I would like to have something that actually has a good accuracy. So, while on a long range, 18-inch guns seems to have better accuracy, I want to give 17s a shot. Or perhaps, wait, if I would, you know what? Crazy idea is in fact being born in my brain, that I could go for, I could go for 2-gun tech. It will definitely have some interesting effect. So let me just compress this build so that I can perhaps make it a little bit more balanced. There we go. This is as much of balance as I can give to this build. So with double 18-inch, I will have much less pitch than I used to. I've been at range of 12 or something, so my accuracy should go up, especially at that long range. On top of that, double barrel gun tech has accuracy bonus on its own, so that's another good benefit, and my ship is still well balanced. And finally, I got much more displacement that I can spend on getting better deck armor, which is very beneficial for this build, especially that with better deck armor I am not only improving my pitch, but I'm also ensuring that there's not gonna be that many of those critical penetrations that I don't want to happen. And at long range, penetrating deck armor, which is usually very thin, might lead to some of those nasty explosions. So, that sounds like a good plan. So you know what? I will just do it. So it's already set up, and if you are looking at my build, and if you've been paying some attention to what I got on this ship, you probably noticed one new thing that was added in Alpha 7 patch. So I never went through patch notes, so if you are unaware, battleships, battle cruisers and heavy cruisers are now able to equip sonar equipment. Yes, so that is making torpedo tracking or torpedo detection a little bit easier for every single ship type. It doesn't mean that battleship can suddenly detect torpedoes as soon as they are being launched, but Sonar Station 3 is definitely improving that by a lot. There's still plenty of improvements to be made, and definitely I can guarantee you that even if I will be able to detect torpedoes from those destroyers, most likely my ship is too sluggish already to do anything about it. So I will still eat at least 1 or 2 torpedoes, especially that those salvos can cover quite wide area. Anyway, getting through the build. So I got 3 double 18-inch gun turrets, 2 at the front, 2 at the back of the ship. I got 10 double 5-inch guns mounted on secondary gun positions, 5 per broadside, or 5 turrets per broadside, which means 10 guns per broadside. And on top of that, I got 6 of those 4-inch double gun turrets per broadside, which makes it 12. That should give me some good range, that should give me some good protection against those pesky destroyers. And finally, on top of that everything, there is also a single triple 8-inch gun mounted in super firing position at the aft of the ship, which again means that I got extra means to deal with those pesky destroyers. Let me see if I can do anything about a distance to improve the angles of that big bad boy. I managed to move this barbette a little bit further to the back. Yes. Anyway, so those are that's my armament. I don't have any sort of torpedoes, and I don't have anything like that. Hopefully this is going to be good enough set for me to make sure that I can deal with those battleships. Another thing that I got, well, when it comes to propulsion, I went all in. So I got diesel engine 2 with oil fuel, forced boilers to make sure that my engine is up to date and can perform the best to its abilities. Auxiliary engine 4, just in case my main engine gets damaged, and it's very likely, especially at those ranges. Even 14-inch gun can deal a massive amount of damage at 27-30 kilometers. Shaft 3 to improve my ability to accelerate, my turning rate, especially ship repairs when it comes to engines, and reduced speed penalty from engine damage. So that is definitely going to play a great role if my engine gets damaged. Protection, I went again, pretty much everything is maxed out, I think, except hull bottom, which is only double. The rest is pretty much the latest technology that is available in the game. Oh, I'm sorry, anti-torp 4 instead of 5 has been installed. So my ship is a little bit less sluggish in terms of turning rate. Okay, when it comes to armaments, I went with standard shells. 18-inch guns with standard shells should be more than enough to deal with any sort of battleship in the game. If that's still not enough, well, going super heavy shell will most likely only increase the fire chance on my ship, the flash fire chance as well. So I do not want to take that risk. I am, however, taking increased ammunition load to make sure that I got enough ammunition to actually commit to long range firing that I will be doing. I'm not taking any torpedoes, and this time, surprisingly, I'm going to be using tube powder. I'm not sure whether this is a great idea. I will definitely have a lot of penetration. And in fact, while using 18-inch guns, I might go for high TNT, because that's definitely going to do a lot of damage. And I could even go further and use HE shells. And that should definitely deal a massive amount of damage to the enemy. The problem is that if enemy will have a strong deck armor, those HE shells will be absolutely useless. Right, and that is a very difficult idea. I could go for it. I could definitely go for it. It actually improves my pitch. Right. Should I go for it? Well, that definitely improves my accuracy, and having better accuracy at that long range might eventually prove to be beneficial. Okay, let's do it. I'm gonna take high TNT. When it comes to any sort of like turrets, they are standard hydraulic turrets with standard reloading. I'm not taking any torpedoes. Obviously, generation 2 radar, it's a must-have if you want to deal with targets at distances of 25, 27, 30 kilometers. That's pretty much my engagement distance for this battleship. Sonar 3, just in case those destroyers decide to rush me. And rangefinder 5, stereoscopic, obviously, to improve my long range accuracy. In addition to great ship balance and pretty good pitch and roll, I should be able to deal absolutely massive amount of damage. So with that said, and without any further ado, let's get into the battle. Okay, so here we are. As I said before, we are facing against 4 enemy battleships. 3 of them are already on the battlefield, 4th of them is trying to chase them up. On top of that, there is 8 destroyers trying to protect that formation. I am one alone battleship, and I need to now adjust my course. So I will change my ammunition to HE in order to see where those ships are. I am chasing them, in fact, which is making things a little bit more spicy. So I will eventually adjust my course to help me chase them. Okay, I will change my speed to 24 knots and aim at the last battleship in the formation. Okay, I am already doing that. So we shall see if that is going to help us do the job. We got 14% accuracy, so At this point we should have a great accuracy. We should have absolutely devastating hits on the enemy. If that's the case, then this battleship should die pretty easily. So second salvo is on its way, and I'm hoping to see some devastating hits on this bad boy. If he dies really quick, then well, that's super effective build. If not, well, then I might be in trouble. Anyway, so far so good. Things are going well. Yeah, we missed, obviously, but we do get some penalty for maneuvering. We do get some penalties for cloudy weather, gentle breeze, sea waves, but we started to get a massive accuracy bonus for cruise speed. So I am hoping that enemy won't score any hits on me, which will result in great accuracy from my side. As you can see, enemy is fighting back, in fact, so I am really worried that it might not end well for me. However, I am not really closing the distance to enemy ships, which should make things a little bit easier. Okay, my shot landed very close to enemy battleship. Let's see how's my course compared to the enemy. I am at the course to close the distance. I would like to keep my distance away and perhaps introduce a third gun into the play. So I will slightly turn to the left or to the starboard. Right, another salvo out, and let's see how this one performs. Enemy formation is making a hard turn. Oh, that is something new. Enemy formation just turned to southwest to cut me off. That is something unusual, so I need to follow up. I don't want to close the distance rapidly from the enemy, and I scored a first hit. Let's see how we did. We haven't done great deal of damage, so I will switch to automatic ammunition selection in hope that AI will do eventually quite good job. Some more shells are on the way. Those will land dangerously close. Oh, that was very close. Anyway, another salvo is out. It is well grouped, and enemy seems to be turning in some random direction. I was hoping that they will eventually keep their course, but that's not the case, and more shots are on the way. Okay, my salvo is about to land. Let's see how it does, and that was great shot that destroyed main tower of the enemy, which means that their accuracy is now not existent. They won't be able to hit me, most likely. So that is a great thing to happen. And with that said, I managed to bring my third gun into play, so more shells are in the air. Hopefully that will result in some good hits. Let me just observe enemy formation, because it is definitely turning dangerously close to me, and I really don't want that to happen. Enemy is still going at into southwest, more to the south in fact, so I definitely need to keep turning. Right, I will try to send one or two more salvos in the air before I will switch my targets. I definitely need to keep enemy at the distance, and that change to double 18-inch guns seems to be a pretty good idea. I get massive accuracy bonuses, and it appears that my ship can effectively rain down shells on enemy battleship, which seems to be suffering from a great deal of damage right now. Not to mention that it has some really nasty guns on board, and I wouldn't like to deal with them for too long. Hopefully this salvo will score some devastating hits on the enemy. Perhaps we might see some flash fires. No, it was a complete miss. That's unfortunate, but well, it is what it is. I really need to watch out on my distance from the enemy. Currently it is 28.2 kilometers. So my targets have changed. Okay, so I am now aiming at second ship information, which is going to be very good. Right, I will keep turning because I want to keep my distance a bit longer, and from what I can see, enemy scored a first hit on me. I'm not sure if I'm going to be that lucky with the second ship to eventually cripple its ability to aim effectively on me. I don't think I am that lucky, but who knows, I might eventually see some lucky shots on this guy as well. First shot that landed on that third battleship effectively rendered him useless, which is very good, as he has quite a big guns. First shot that landed on the second battleship, well, did negligible amount of damage. So that's a bit disappointing, but well, it is what it is. Let's see what another shot will do. I still suffer from some penalties coming from my maneuvering, but those are very small. It's just 2%, so I should be totally able to deal some great damage to the enemy. Another shot's out. For some reason my rear turret is refraining from firing. That's not exactly the best, but hopefully it is going to be good enough. Right, let's see how it goes. Is this salvo still up? No, this salvo in fact landed already. No, there was some sort of .533. Let's see. Kentucky hits. I hit something, and I did damage. I'm not sure what kind of damage I caused, but another salvo is in the air, and it should land pretty soon. What am I aiming at this moment? I am aiming at the lead ship this time. So another change in target. Salvo is landing, and no effect. Okay, enemy salvo is landing, and it scored a penetration. So I'm suffering from damage instability. That is not ideal, and I have to admit that enemy seems to have a little bit of a great accuracy, especially compared to me when I got 14% accuracy myself. which should give me pretty consistent hits on enemy. In fact, that's not the case. I am taking much more damage than I should. And some would say, hey, there's nothing to panic about. Well, there is, because enemy is surprisingly accurate, while I can't hit them. Okay, oh, fire spreads. Why the fire spreads? And why... Oh, fire spreads again. Could you please stop? Stop the fire, and could you please stop another fire? And I stopped another fire. Oh, enemy salvos are landing very, very close to my hull. I really don't like that. There's a whole bunch of enemy shells in the air, and I don't seem to be scoring those massive and devastating hits that I would like to. Right, let me just check what am I actually aiming at. Yes, my ship once more decided to switch fire. I do not want that to happen. And I need to change my course slightly because enemy is also changing it. And one of my guns can't effectively aim. It is becoming a little bit difficult to track the enemy. Right, 2 of my guns fired, that's only 4 shells in the air. But it is what it is. I am trying to turn a little bit towards the enemy so I can track their movement. What's the direction? Yes, you are traveling there, but I am far ahead. Perhaps that is the issue. Enemy is traveling much slower than I do. I am still trying to identify them. I scored a hit at mid-belt. It did, well, very poorly. I have to admit that perhaps taking these high TNT wasn't the best idea. It doesn't seem to have that great accuracy. Well, it does have a great accuracy, it doesn't seem to have that great penetration. So not the best idea, I guess. It's not the worst though. The biggest problem of this mission is that I need to deal with enemy at a long range. And as you can see, well, it's not the most effective way of doing things. Okay, I scored some good hits on the front enemy. As you can see, it took some damage. Enemy stopped fire, which was spread by those 2 18-inch hits. Another shots from me are coming in. Let me just keep track of the enemy. I'm trying to keep a proper distance from them. Right, enemy is scoring some hits on me. As you can see, my structure went down to 91%, which is not the best deal. Okay, I scored a massive hit on the enemy at the front, and currently, well, it didn't do a great deal of damage to him, but it definitely left a mark. Hopefully some more big and massive hits will follow, and perhaps some flash fires will happen on board of that ship, so we can eventually deal with it. I introduced triple or time conversion, so we can eventually see a bit more of this battle. So as you can see, enemy at a distance of 27-28 kilometers is able to hit me quite consistently. There are 3 enemy battleships, and they can just pretty much hit me a bit more consistently than I would like them to. Thankfully, that switch to double barrel guns was kind of successful, and I'm able to hit enemy in return. So eventually that good accuracy that I'm getting is doing its job. I'm having 17% accuracy at the moment, and I'm able to actually damage the enemy. One of enemies is pretty much useless, one of them is heavily damaged, and they are now turning away. I scored main tower penetration on this enemy, so let's see how it goes. I can't see it, but hopefully it caused a massive damage to her. Right, enemy is turning away, and it's both lead ship and second ship in the formation. So I definitely need to follow up with my maneuver. I can't stay on the same course anymore. I need to keep all my guns firing at enemy ships. Hopefully this will result in a great... Why there is damage instability? Oh, okay, there is small damage instability. It was, I think, from the enemy. And shots are landing. Okay, we scored another penetration. We set something on fire. Hopefully soon we will be able to see some more damage on enemy ship. I need to turn a little bit harsher to keep enemy in my range, and hopefully this will result in some good hits. My guns are having massive accuracy. That 15% is really doing a great job, and hopefully I will be able to follow up. I am firing at Isse, which is doing 18 knots at the moment. So let's see how she does. Okay. So I still keep firing at Isse. Some of enemy ships have collided, which means there will be some damage that they sustain. Right. Let's see. I do not like what I see, and I need to bulkhead many. I would like to fire at Iwami, perhaps. Why is that? Well, there is a reason for it. Enemy scored 18-inch gun hits, and that's why I want to fire at Iwami. She has very little protection. Okay, Iwami sank after first shot. That is very good. Right, the next ship that I will be targeting is going to be Hyuga. Why is that? She has minimum bulkheads, and her protection is pretty much non-existent. So strategically, if I can score another flash fire on her, she is going to sink really quickly. Too bad I missed that moment. 18-inch hit from Hyuga, I think. Is it? Yes, that is Hyuga. Scored a hit on me. So again, even though her tower is damaged, I am still being hit by her. That is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. I couldn't get that good accuracy from my guns, while at the same time I am being hit consistently by enemy 18-inch guns. That is absolutely amazing. Ise has only 16-inch guns, which is very, very good. Okay, I did partial penetration to Hyuga, so she is having some massive... Oh, I am dangerously close to her. I need to turn away. And... wow, those shots are landing very, very close to my ship. In fact, 16-inch guns started to hit me quite consistently. That is amazing. Right, more shots are on the way against Hyuga. Let's see how we do. And these are very well grouped. And I scored just ricochet. Hyuga started to actually rush me a little bit. And I don't want that to happen. So let me just retreat a little bit. We are nearly 2 hours in the battle. So I want to retreat a little bit. Oh, okay. Okay. How's my accuracy? It's at 13%. I am 25.1 knots, 21.1 kilometers away from the enemy. And again, I'm suffering from another 16-inch gun hit. That is not good. I scored overpen on Hyuga and started fire in her rear section. Unfortunately, that's all I managed to do. I am now on parallel course to her and more shells are on the way. My accuracy came back to 14%. I missed another shot. Hopefully next one will follow up and I will finally deal some great damage. So I just reloaded, 3 shots fired, and they are coming. What are they going to do? Well, nothing. That is a huge problem. We're still at 14% accuracy. Not much have changed. Hopefully with these shots we will see some increase. And come on, you can do it. Partial penetration. And oh, and flash fire on me. That is very, very unlucky and I got sunk. So that's it for today's episode, I guess. I won't be trying again, not this time. Anyway, perhaps you could have seen how this mission looks like. Is it very well balanced? As I said before, not really. Player starts at great disadvantage, definitely. We are facing very, very formidable enemy force. We will be sustaining damage throughout the entirety of the battle, and that's exactly what we did. And as soon as I let enemy to go at the distance of 25 kilometers away from me, which is way above the maximum engagement distance that ever happened in Second World War, eventually I got sunk. What was surprising about this is very early into the battle I managed to completely destroy Hyuga's main tower, as you could have seen. It was pretty much my first shot and I eliminated their main tower. However, enemy was still able to consistently deal damage to me. In fact, this Hyuga battleship managed to score more hits on me than I managed to score hits on her, resulting in me sinking eventually, because, well, the more hits you sustain, especially on battleship in a long range engagement, the the more chances you have to eventually suffer from that nasty flash fire. And as you could have seen, at some point I sustained that damage, I took that damage, and my battleship has sunk, sadly. Even though I had slightly upper hand, my guns had enough accuracy to actually deal with the enemy. For some reason in this mission, enemy has radar too, and enemy has massive technology boost. I'm also not sure why enemy has so good accuracy. Even though my ship is well balanced, even though my ship has great accuracy, enemy still seems to be scoring hits much more consistently. Maybe it's just a bad rolls, or perhaps I am doing something wrong and I missed that. So if you have spotted anything that I did wrong and I failed to spot it, leave it in the comments section down below. Perhaps there is something that I missed. Definitely playing on time conversion did play some role, because it made me having really hard time to track enemy movements. I could have switched the camera a little bit more aggressively between my ship and enemy ship to keep control over my distance a little bit better. So those are definitely things to improve, and perhaps at some point I can spend a little bit more time with that mission, so I could record it in a much slower pace. And that highlights actually another problem with the game, but I might cover it in the next video. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. If you want to get informed about my new content, hit that notification bell button, and don't forget to share your comments down below. Have a great day and see you all later. Later. Out.